Welcome to selfdiscoverymedia.com, where we discover the communities that are making a difference in the lives of others. Our self-discovery is something we are all making on our life's journey. Here you will find the people that will be your guidance, that will be your inspiration, that will be there for you in support on your journey of life. Do enjoy. Our next show is... Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of Sarah's View of Life. I'm your host, Sarah Troy. Oh, forgive me, I do have a cold and still kind of rather snotty-nosed, and it's taking its while to leave. But it's what happens, right? And of course, everybody immediately starts thinking COVID. No, just simply a cold. And this is a really important time for us to build up our immune system. Echinacea is absolutely wonderful for that. Vitamin C, making sure you get enough sleep, and nourishing food, and keeping yourself warm. The temperatures are very fluctuating, and it can really throw you out. So as we go into the cold season, we can do things to help prevent it. Echinacea, even before you get the cold, builds up your immune system along with the vitamin C. And if you do get it, I buckleyed it. I took Buckley's, and it certainly has helped, but it's just one of those lingering things in the news. But we do, at this time, have to look at, with COVID still being around and fear still being around and hysteria still being around, that colds are going to happen, flu is going to happen. And we need to be mindful that when we have that, like, don't go out and give it to someone. Somebody's immune system may be a little weaker, and it could leave them more to being vulnerable to COVID out there. There's still plenty of people unvaccinated, and I know many who aren't, and out of principle or have chosen to take a holistic way to build their immune system. There are two arguments on either side of the coin here, and as long as we don't spew hate at each other, and venom and nastiness, and just to respect each other's opinion, and also respect that if you are not vaccinated, to be careful out there, because there are people who are very, very vulnerable when they get sick, and we certainly don't want to be the cause of that. Even if you are vaccinated, you can still get a cold, you can still get the flu, and you can still get the COVID and the Delta variant, but you won't end up in hospital. You'll just really feel sick like a bad flu. So it is a matter of choice, but respect, please. So while we're in this cold season, and it's so easy, my little 6-month-old my grandson gave me this cold, and his dad came down heavy with it. And, that's a lack of sleep with the baby. And I came down heavy with it. And, it's just one of those things. So we've got to be mindful while we're out there in the season that we take the precautions that we need to do. We do what we need to do to boost our immune system. I hadn't got there yet. It was still a bit too early. We were in warm weather, and I was hot and kind of didn't expect to suddenly go into this. So with the temperatures fluctuating in the fall, it's what happens. But I think our attitude towards it, having a cold, having the flu, it's like, stay at home. It's better for you to stay at home and get better. Yes, last week in the thick of my cold, I did 3 interviews, and I went and rested afterwards, went and had a snooze, and then kind of called my day off early and just rested and helped get it out. And then I was well enough to go over to my son's and with my daughter and have Thanksgiving, because it was Canadians' Thanksgiving this last weekend. And it was a wonderful Thanksgiving. My son, who has a restaurant, they actually closed for 2 days and just did a catering job where they put an entire Thanksgiving meal together for people to buy that they could just reheat and serve. I think he sold about 180 of them or something for a local community. And then he had a staff party, Thanksgiving, for all those that don't have family to go to. And it was wonderful. There were about 20 of us, and it was a wonderful thing, because they all worked together and they all consider each other family. And I've always done this thing of, gratitude, everybody going around the table, what are they grateful for this year? And, I said I was grateful for them for coming together through these turbulent times. And when COVID happened, when it first came down with the lockdown, my son, his Achilles had snapped and he just had an operation. Like 3 days later, the restaurant is, having to close, and just so he had to pivot to just, doing takeouts. So he would be there on the chair with his leg up, taking phone calls. And, it was like suddenly you're going from a thriving business where there's lineups to, having to pivot. And the community has been absolutely wonderfully around him. And if you are in Maple Ridge, British Columbia, Canada, please go to Humble Roots Cafe right now. He's decided to go back to takeouts. You can buy a takeout and eat it in the restaurant, but because this restaurant is so small, it's easier to do the takeout or delivery. While we're still in this, vaccine pass and lockdowns and everything else. It was a wonderful reveal when everybody went round the table and what they were grateful for, and how many of them were grateful for the cafe, for the restaurant, for my son, where they had found a family, they'd found a community, a place where they belonged. And, each and every one of them can probably make more money somewhere else. But as they said, they were just a number, just like a robot everywhere else. And there they were family. And it brought out a few tears and a few people. And there's one girl there that is considered disabled. She has a few challenges. And everywhere she's gone, she's just been treated like a dishwasher. And she said, here, I'm so much more than a dishwasher, because she's now the baker. And he expects everyone to do the dishes, the chefs and everyone. If it needs to be done, roll up your sleeves and do it, because it's one of those restaurants that everybody needs to step up and do what they need to do, when it needs to be done. But it is a wonderful community, and I'm very proud of him. And it was wonderful to have my other daughter there, and my other daughter with her baby was sick, so of course they couldn't come. But it is, we could still get together. We could still have fun. We've just got to be mindful. We've got to be protective. We've got to be, there for each other. The last thing we need is mudslinging. The last thing we need is the hate rhetoric or the divide. You may have a different opinion, a different approach, but, both sides have arguments that are compelling. And it's just a question of respect. And again, if you're not vaccinated, don't put yourself where there are vulnerable people. And if you are vaccinated, respect that some people may choose to go a holistic way in building up their immune system. And yes, of course, there are the complete deniers, and that is their choice as well. Again, as long as they're not inflicting. So, we've still got a long way to go with this, and we are in cold flu season. And I think that if you do come down ill, in the past it would have been go to work, just take a pill and go to work. And now it's like, no, stay at home, get better. It's not only better for your community because you're not passing a cold on or anything else on, but it's better for you. Take the time to rest, the old chicken soup or broth and, hot drinks, hot bed, and rest. And, if you need to take some medicine or you've got a holistic ways to do it, do it. But rest and fluids are always the best thing. Let the cold have its journey, blow it out, and hit that vitamin C and things to rebuild your immune system. But don't fight it. Don't fight it, don't spread it, because that's what it's about. Don't fight it, don't spread it. When we get sick, we're not meant to push through. I did do those shows, but I'm at home. I'm not inflicting it on anyone. And I did a disclaimer. I'd had that cold and I muted every time I coughed and spluttered. So it is about what can you do? Maybe you still need to work, but you can do it from home and not out there. But it's also, remember, it's very important that you give your body the time and rest. After those shows, I went and laid down. If I went to sleep, it's what my body needed. And listen to your body, please listen to your body. Our minds are, but I've got to push through. I've got to do this. I've got to do that. And the body says, if you don't listen, I'm going to flatten you. And then you won't be able to do anything. So the stitching time, take the time to get better now so you don't get worse later. When we're out, don't try and sneeze on anyone. I know I did the other day because the sneezing just started coming and I was sneezing into my hand or a tissue, but it was just like, That's when the onset of the cold came, and I was like, tissue. And it's just, okay, get those tissues out. Sneeze into that tissue. Wash your hands. And we've just got to be respectful and mindful. That's what it is. So this is just my kind of 10-minute of please rest your body. If you haven't had a cold yet, I really do recommend echinacea and vitamin C. The two together are wonderful at building your own immune system. And if you get that cold, take care of it right away. Rest, fluids, medicine if you need it, but most certainly, there's a lot of holistic things you can do, aromatherapy and vitamins and nutritions and all of that. And but don't pass it on. We want you to share your love, your kindness, your caring, your beautiful gifts and your abilities. We don't want your colds. So please be mindful. I'm a bronchial asthmatic. So when I do get a cold, I'm always worried about it going to my chest, because when it does, I am really out and I can't function, and it's just not nice and comfortable. So there are some of us out there that are more vulnerable than others. And why you go, I've still got to go out, I've still got to go and do this, I've still got to do that. Well, of course, you're masking, so you're going to keep those germs behind that, but make sure you wash your hands and don't go out with a fever. That fever can spread beyond the mask. And, nowadays they have delivery. Uber delivers, Walmart delivers, Save-On delivers, all your grocery stores deliver. And other people will pick things up for you and drop off a nice bowl of soup or whatever you need. Take that time to heal and love one another, okay? Start with loving yourself. So for all this cold and flu season, may you skim right through it and not get anything. But if you do, just consider it. It's time for you to take time for you to love and nurture your body and respect all those around you, because you certainly don't want to pass on the misery, and just get better, get well, so you can get back out there doing what you love doing. So until next time, folks, take care of yourself. And remember, echinacea and vitamin C, absolutely wonderful. Bye for now.
We hope that you enjoyed the show. You will hear many, many shows here on selfdiscoverymedia.com. We have new shows for you out every week. Just find them on our podcast or What's New. If you feel that you have something to share that makes a difference in the lives of others, or you too feel that you could be a host, please contact me at info@selfdiscoverymedia.com, and we will be glad to speak with you. Have a wonderful day.